Before you watch this video, please go back and watch the videos I made about Avogadro constant and mole, and also the molar mass video. So without further ado, let's get to work. So we are now ready to look at the relationship between the number of particles, amount in mole, and the mass in grams. So how do we convert mass in grams to the number of particles? As you can see, we have two ways, one going from left to right and the other one right to left. So the left to right one, to go from mass in grams to amount in mole, you have to divide the mass by the molar mass. And after getting the n from this calculation, you can multiply the amount in mole n by the Avogadro constant to give you the number of particles. And the second route is from right to left, which is going from number of particles to amount in mole. So for that to happen, you have to divide the number of particles by the Avogadro constant to give you the amount in mole. From there, you can multiply the amount in moles by the molar mass to give you the mass in grams. So to put this in formula, we have n is equals to mass over molar mass. Mass is in grams and molar mass is in gram per mole. And also amount in moles can be calculated by multiplying number of particles times 6.02 times 10 to the power 23, which is the Avogadro constant. So I have a question here. For you to fully understand this question, you have to go back and view the diagram again. So determine the number of oxygen molecules in 16 gram of molecular oxygen. So you are asked to find the number of oxygen given the mass. So you are obviously taking from the left to right rule, because what is given to us is the 16 gram, the mass, and then we're supposed to find the number of particles. So for that to happen, we need to find the mole first and then multiply by the Avogadro constant to give us the number of particles. So how do we find the mole? I've given you the formula for finding the mole, which is mass divided by molar mass. We know our mass already, but we don't know our molar mass. So how do you find the molar mass? The molar mass is simply the same as relative molecular mass. So which is, for oxygen, the molar mass or the relative atomic mass is 16. But times 2, since there are 2 oxygens here, we have to multiply by 2 in order to get 32 gram per mole. So now we can easily find our n, which is the mole. To find the mole, we divide 16 by 32, which is 0.5 mole. So now we can find the number of oxygen, or the number of particles, by multiplying n times the Avogadro constant number. So which is 0.5 times 6.02 times 10 to the power 23. So that will give you 3.01 times 10 to the power 23 molecules of oxygen. The second question says, determine the mass in gram of 1.51 times 10 to the power 23 carbon atoms. So here I've given you the number of carbon atoms. So you have to take from the right to left routes. So first find the mole by dividing the number of particles by the Avogadro constant, and then after finding the mole, to find the mass, multiply it by molar mass. So our first step is divide the number of carbon atoms by 6.02 times 10 to the power 23 to find the mole. So the mole is equals to the number of carbon atoms, which is 1.51 times 10 to the power 23, divided by 6.02 times 10 to the power 23, and that gives us 0.251 mole. And now to find the mass, we need to know the molar mass. The molar mass for carbon atoms is 12.01 gram per mole. So and the mass is calculated as the mole times the molar mass. So which is 12.01 times 0.251, and that is equivalent to 3.01 gram. So that's it for this video. I will see you in another video. Please consider subscribing. Thank you.